welcome to The Burnout, the show where we tackle the problems in education one solution at a time. I'm your host, Kendria Johnson, and we look forward to helping you beat the burnout. And welcome to another episode of The Burnout. I am your host, Miss Kendria Johnson. I am your teacher coach. I make good teachers great by bringing them out of burnout back into a balanced life. And on today's episode, I have Miss Benita Gordon. We have been trying to get in contact. We have been trying to meet up for like a couple of months, right? Like a couple of months we've been trying to hook up. And I finally got her on the show. So that means she is important. Because if she is that busy, that means she is important. So we're lucky to have her today. She considers herself to be an educational concierge.
Yes.
Education. I can't wait for her to explain that to us. An education concierge. I love that. Just the name alone is just French and beautiful, and it makes us feel like, special, because we are. And so, the purpose of our show is to discuss the issues, the problems, the perils, and the pitfalls of education and how we can fix some of these problems. Welcome, Miss Gordon. How are you today?
I am great. How are you? Hello, everyone.
Tell us what you're doing and how you're showing up in the world, and tell us about yourself and where you are from. Tell us about the big move as well. I want my audience to hear about that.
So I'm going to start off with this new thing about my pronouns. My pronouns are pay me. Okay. Those are my pronouns. But my name is Benita Gordon. I'm shouting out my hometown of Lawrenceville, Virginia.
All right.
Hey, I am an educational concierge. So people say, what? So concierge is literally when you went to the hotels back in the day, and you would ask for all of the things. Like, I want tickets, I want restaurant reservations, I want to know the ins and outs of everything. And that's what I do in education.
Good.
So school leaders, parents, other educators reach out to me, and they need help and assistance with ins and outs of education. So it can be something like, I do not want my child in the school next year. Can you help me find a school? To, I'm on a plan of action as a teacher. I'm about to lose my job. Can you help me? And so that's what we do. I recently moved. Some of y'all don't know. I left Memphis. Sorry, Memphis. I love Memphis, Maine. I love Memphis, Maine. And transitioned back to South Florida. And I know you're like, why would a Black girl move to Florida right now? I know you're asking that question.
Yeah, that DeSantos person over there.
Yes, but this is where my family is, needed to come back and help out. But I also know that they don't build a table. You have to go make a school.
Yeah.
And so this is why I'm here back in South Florida, working with the Kind Academy here in Florida. And I am opening up a middle school micro school.
Love
for middle-aged students, because y'all know middle school is my jam now.
Yeah, me too.
And that's what I'm doing. And just partnering with different educators, partnering with the community, so that we can ensure that the truth is being taught. And then we are preparing our students for the next generation. Because as all of us in education know that we are behind the 8 ball.
We are. Yeah. Well, our kids are not ready.
They're not ready.
They're not ready.
We got to get ready. And we have to get them ready for stuff that we don't even know that's going to exist yet.
Exactly. Our kids do. Yeah.
Stuff that already exists. We still need electricians. We still need locksmith. We still need transportation providers. We still need all of those things, but we also need the jobs that are coming in the future with AI. Come on now.
AI.
Curing cancer. So we still need all of those jobs. And so we're here to get the students to do internships, to do entrepreneurships, and to get a foundation that's already set and build on that so they can be productive citizens. That's what we want.
Yeah. That is rule number one. And, in the world of education, you've already tapped on a few things that we actually haven't talked about this on the show yet. So we can open up that can of worms today about the jobs that haven't been created and how our kids are going to not be ready. I live in the Middle East, and they're not ready. And so they got a one-to-one program here that's out of this world. It's like number 1 in the world, but they're not ready. So it's like, if these kids are not ready, and all the opportunities we're supposed to have in the USA, how are we going to get ready? What is it going to take for us to get ready? I want you to talk about that, because when we're talking about problems and pitfalls, we could be discussing problems that haven't happened. They haven't, 2030, 2031, 2035. That's within our lifetime. That's within our generation. And I love what you said about junior high being the jam, because that's the time when these kids figure out who they want to be. This is something
Yes.
solidified in that time period between that 11 and 13 and 14, 15. They start to really shape about, they start to form something. Those neurons start to connect about who they want to be at 25 and 30. And so if we don't get them at that age, we don't get them excited about learning and science and math and AI and coding and all the things that they need to learn, I'm worried. I'm worried. So tell me what your thoughts are about that.
Intentional learning. Mm-hmm. We have to just, I came on here and I was like, what can I say? And I said, this is what I can say. Mm-hmm. Ditch traditional learning. Let it go. It's okay. Mm-hmm. Look, I started teaching in the 1900s, as my students say. 1998, I graduated from Memphis University and went into the school. Yeah. I come from a family of educators. Mm-hmm. The way our mother, who has passed away, and my godmother and my aunts and uncles taught, I can't even teach the same way I taught before COVID.
Right. Agreed.
Ditch traditional and go intentional. Mm-hmm. What is it? And you said it. Like I worked with the social studies teacher this year, and we did one final project. Mm-hmm. So we got together, and the last 3 slides, the students must talk about themselves. Mm-hmm. What I want to do, how do I plan on doing it? 50% of the students said, I'm not going to college. That's a waste of time and money.
Hello.
But you have to have a plan. Mm-hmm. I'm going into the military. Mm-hmm. I'm going to vocational school. Yep. I'm going to, and so they had a plan. Mm-hmm. That opened my eyes, because here I am at a school that we're like, college is for everybody. And then I would be close my door and go, it's not. It's not for everybody. College is for people that need to go. I want my dentist to go to college.
Right. I want my doctor to go and my gynecologist to go. Please go and get to the top of your class. I don't want no C student messing with my insides. Yes, I agree with you. But, and we're lucky because we get to see the transition. We're very blessed to see this transition happen. However, there's people who they're not preparing their children, or we're not preparing ourselves. I love the memes about, this is school 100 years ago and this is school today, and it's almost exactly the same with the rows and the columns. This teacher stands up in front of the classroom and teaches. I love those memes, but what is it going to take to change that narrative? Because what you're seeing, what I'm seeing now, you finna give me your input. I want your 2 cents and 3 and 4 and add 5 if you want. But what you're seeing is a mass exit of teachers, because we don't want to do it that way anymore. The kids are not interested because they don't want to do it that way anymore. When are the people that are in charge of the system going to see we can't do it no more? You almost have to treat high school and middle school like college, but the kids sign up for what they want. You're going to have to start doing something different, or you're going to lose them. I'll let you go. I'll let you go. Go ahead.
I'm glad you said that, because during COVID, we had serious conversations on Zoom. And one of the things the plethora of my students said, and I was here in Homestead, my students said was, hey, I can do this. I would rather come into the building for math and science because I want that lab experience. And a little bit, I'll never forget, he said, no disrespect to you, Ms. Gordon. We love you and you're a great teacher, but we don't have to come into the building to do your class. We can do just like we're doing right now. I said, no disrespect taken. Mm-hmm. Not taken whatsoever.
You figured it out.
Because they figured it out. And I'm glad you said that, because they figured it out. Mm-hmm. We don't listen. Intentional learning is listening to your customer.
Exactly. Listen, you listen to the parents that don't want to fool with them. Don't listen to them. You have to listen to the market, the job market. You have to listen to the trends that are coming up. You have to pay attention to, what is your child going to be able to do with this quote unquote traditional education? Just like you said, they're leaving college. They figuring out college ain't all that.
They want to know.
Yeah. You'll have a whole bunch of homeless people, the educated homeless people in the future.
The kids want to know, like, I'm glad a student asked me one day, he said, what's cryptocurrency? Yeah. So I said, hold on, let's pull it up. Mm-hmm. Pulled up Google. We did a whole lesson. I found some stuff on YouTube. We watched it. I teach English. I don't even know how we got on that.
Yeah. I teach math and science, and I had to go look up blockchains. I had to go look it up. I still ain't got my degree in it. I ain't graduated yet, but I know just enough to teach my kids.
Yes.
So I know that just enough.
That takes me to the second thing. You're gonna have to dedicate some time, educators. And I know you're like, girl.
Yeah, they're not ready.
Kendra.
Yeah.
Kendra, Benita, Shaquana, Tony. James. We don't have the time, Benita. I know, but let me tell you what you're going to have to do. Administrators, superintendents,
there you go.
district supervisors, the professional development that you are creating and making us go to is irrelevant. Okay?
Yes, boo.
We would like you to dedicate the time, and we're ready on the things that are intentional learning, the things that our customers need to know to be productive in the world, so they're not homeless and educated.
Yeah.
And so ditch the traditional, and then let's dedicate the real time. And so what we need to do, like, unless I need classroom management, please don't sign me up for that. I don't. I train people on how to do classroom management.
I do too.
I don't need that.
If they say differentiation one more time, I swear for God, I'm gonna stand up and scream and then walk out. I don't want to hear any more about differentiation. I don't want to hear about what's that other favorite, their favorite buzzword about, groups, classroom groups, collaborative groups.
Yes. Let's go. Please.
Yeah, these children have zero social skills. They learn more from me having to collaborate with each other and having to work with a group than they do with us having these organized groups that we put them in. Let them choose the group that they want to be in and see how long it takes them to get on each other's nerve. Because that's the real world. That's the real world we live in.
Come on. And then I sit back at my desk and go, what you need?
She's not doing nothing. That's not my problem. You figured out.
Okay,
y'all agree.
So, I walked around with a clipboard. They was like, what you doing? Inspect the gadget. This is what happens in the real world. We watch I said, think about the cooking shows that you watch. Think about all of these TV shows that you watch. When they put the people in the group, they're watching how you work in a group.
They sure are.
And they're watching what you do. And then they sit there and go, you're dismissed from the food competition, not because your food wasn't good, because you couldn't work with your group.
Now, what is the biggest problem? And we can micro niche it to what's the biggest problem in schools. We can be what's the biggest problem with our students, what's the biggest problem in, administration or the adults that run our organization. What do you think is one of the biggest issues in education, and what can we do about it?
Oh my goodness, there's so many, girl. I have a list. So let's talk about the topic of the moment. We're sending in unprepared people. Let's talk about it. I went to education classes. Shout out to HU. Shout out to Norfolk State. St. Paul's College is closed. Shout out to you, Brunswick County Public Schools, that threw me in the classroom. Excuse me.
Yes.
I came home for the summer, and a teacher went out sick, and I was a substitute teacher. And they said, "Come on in here, Gordon. These are the women that taught me. Come on, teach this class for this week. Oh wait, another week." But this is what they did. They rallied around me, and these women taught me how to do lesson plans as a junior in college. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, there is a teacher shortage, we know.
Yes.
But a warm body in a classroom does not equate to educating the children in that class. A warm body in the classroom means it's a warm body that you say as an adult in the classroom. You are putting in substitutes that have not even been trained on how to take attendance.
Speak on.
They don't know anything. They don't even remember school. So that's the topic on the table where, yes, we're in a teacher shortage. I get it. I know. I left. I'm a transitioning teacher. But what we can't do is say, oh, we're just going to fill in this gap.
Yeah.
You can't put a Band-Aid on a hemorrhaging.
Nope.
We're hemorrhaging. And you keep trying to put a Band-Aid on there and it's not working. Yeah. So let's stop. Let's train people. Training does not take a lot. And we have to be realistic about our training. We need to train the subs. I went through sub training. Shout out to Newport News, Virginia. Best sub training I ever gone through back in the day. I went through sub training. And it took one day. They gave us lunch. We had a binder. And every school I walked in had like a little folder of blah, 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 blah. These are the things you need to know.
Yeah. Because
the students ask questions like, what are we going to lock down? And there's a sub here. She can't lock the door. Well, wait a minute. So the biggest problem right now we have in education is we're putting people in classrooms that aren't prepared. And I'm talking about alternative programs.
Yep.
6 weeks. Okay. But what did they do in those 6 weeks? How are they going to start in the classroom strong?
Yeah.
How are you going to be in front of human kids, 25, 30, 35?
She said human kids, not robots.
Not robots. I love some Piaget, and I love all the theories. They are true.
But they died with him.
30 kids in a classroom, 30 different personalities.
So talk about, and then we're going to be wrapping up real soon. I love your spirit. I love your energy.
Thank you.
Talk about if we've already talked about our audience, superintendents, change makers, congressmen, whoever is in charge of our budgets, future principals, people in principal positions right now. If you're looking for, professional development, I do fly out. If you pay for the airfare and hotel, I will fly out and train your people. But talk about, give a message too before we wrap up to someone who would see this a year from now. Ms. Gordon, go ahead and give them a message. Tell them what you would tell them.
Hold on. And while you're holding on, change. Because it's okay to hold on. Y'all might not know this, but back in the day, we used to have to climb this rope in PE class. I don't know what the purpose was for, because I only got halfway up, because I have leg strength, not arm strength. Okay. But hold on. And while you're holding on and you're moving up, you have to adjust your stance to keep going.
Yeah.
It's okay to pause and breathe and reassess. Sometimes I would just look up and go, okay, girl, how long? How many more you go? So when you look back on this Instagram, when you look back on this video, this on YouTube, when you look back and you're in the education field and whatever level you're on, pause, reflect, and see how you need to adjust. One of my best observations is I literally adjusted the lesson in the middle of the observation. My kids will not get it. They was looking at me like, on paper, that lesson plan was bomb, yes.
Show you right.
But my sixth graders at that time was like, what you talking about? I said, you know what? Pause, close your books. We need to do some background scaffolding because I'm going too fast. Sometimes we're moving too fast. And in education, we always say we're building the plane and we're flying it.
Yep.
At the same time.
Yep.
Guess what? We don't have to. You don't have to. For your section, you can actually pause. And build it and then go fly it. And then get the numbers to prove to your people that what you're doing works, even if it's against what they say it to do. Because I'm one of them teacher leaders that I will sit in the meeting and go, we talking about uniforms? We talking about uniforms.
Yeah.
Our kids fighting.
Yes.
Come on. And then this is the last thing. I'm going to say this.
Yeah.
It was on LinkedIn, and I've done an Instagram about it. It's called Say My Name.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, when you go into these classrooms in August and September, and you see that beautiful roster of new babies that you have been blessed to have, pronounce their names correctly. We don't do nicknames. My students know. First rule is we don't do nicknames. You're gonna learn how to say my name, and give me 2 weeks. And at the end of these 2 weeks, I'm gonna know who you are and know how to pronounce your name. And if I don't, you're gonna say, Miss Gordon, it is pronounced. And I'm gonna repeat it after you till I get it right. Yep. So stop playing with these babies. We are a multicultural, multi-ethnic, denominational universe. We can say Schwarzenegger, we can say all of the things, then we can say everybody's name.
Sure can. All right. And all right, so that's gonna do it for us today. I appreciate my good new girlfriend, Miss Benita Gordon, coming on my show today. And remember, on the Burnout, we help teachers recharge their purpose, revitalize their passion, and regain their power. That's going to do it for us today. Bye-bye now. See you next time.